Right, and hello. So today we're actually continuing on from yesterday's stream. I have done a little work in the meantime. However, right now we are mainly. Oh, are you a new cat? I'm gonna go get a fish. Two sticks. Eight fish. More than enough. Right. So something tells me the server is a little laggy. Um, of course. Oh yeah. Come on, kitty. No, you can do it. There we go. Cat. Now I have one over there, one there, one there, and I think I also have one down here. Four cats, all different. Right, where was I? So, need to... so today we are, as I said, going to be continuing on from yesterday's stream, and it is going to focus on this over here. Because while we got the villager breeder to work, um, actually quite well, we it also works up here. We don't really have a place to store them, so I have spent the better part of earlier today working on a storage facility. And if I just black black the screen, I can show you what I have worked on. This is going to be our new villager trading hall. You enter in through here, then we have the different tiers that delegate the villagers, a centralized staircase. Here we're going to have a tree. I don't know who's going to build it. It's not going to be me. And then the many villager storage compartments. Now, what I can do is find a very specific image I took. There we go. Because we are also going to segment all the villagers into the different workstations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5. So that's not a workstation. That is. We're going to have the masons around this area, cartographers on this level. We're going to have the fletchers up here, the weaponsmiths down there, the toolsmiths there. I think it's shepherds. Then the butchers. We're going to have the armorers and the farmers. Next up, we obviously have the librarians, the fishermen, and the clerics. The clerics are there. The oops, this is that's the farmers. So farmers, I placed this one in the wrong spot. You should be no, that one was placed correctly. These are there. Librarians have 2 spots, whereas everything else only has 1. Oh yeah, I am missing the fisherman and where is the cauldron? Yeah. So the leather workers and the fishermen. And this is how we're going to segment all of the villagers. Now here on the top level, there's room for 1 additional one. I don't know if I'm going to use this or if I'm just going to take whatever makes sense. But this is the trading hall as we know it. It is made for flying in and out of. However, it is also accessible by walking if ever we should lose access to an elytra. However, these upper areas are not accessible by walking, which is why I have placed the more unnecessary workstations there and the more food-based armor, tool, and enchantment based on either ground or sub-ground levels. It is also all perfectly lit up. Some areas only have a light level of 1. However, that should be more than enough, as long as I remember to double check once I am done building. So, this is what we're going to be digging out on when we get to the back on the server. I did plan on making room for a conversion chamber, a zombie chamber. However, if I am being completely honest, that is not going to happen. Purely by virtue of oh, it's lacking. Purely by virtue of us playing on normal instead of hard, and therefore there being a 50% chance of actually killing the villager instead of zombifying it. And I'm losing connection. Yay. But, but yeah, that's mainly the reason why I don't have a conversion chamber in mind for this project. Otherwise, I would. So let's just dig a perimeter. And actually, I have commissioned some of the others on the server to, if they want to supply a beacon, I would pay a lot of money for it. Well, in-game currencies at least. Because this is going to be a lot. I can just enter free cam and you'll be able to see it stretches down to about here, which it's not impossible to do without a beacon. However, it is definitely preferred to have a beacon. And then it stretches all the way out here. So, oh, wait a second, let me just go find my shulker boxes. Shani said I was allowed to steal some deep slate, if she had any. And so that is exactly what I'll do. We'll go there, steal some deep slate, and that one's empty, that one's empty. Can't remember if anyone else said I was allowed to. Right. Let's see. Deep slate, deep slate, deep slate. A little bit of deep slate. Right. No more. I mean, it's better than nothing, though. Right. I have just asked out if I was allowed to steal from anyone else, and if so, at what price. And this will be a good start, and I do also think we will have to go mining for it ourselves at some point. However, I would rather not do that before we have a beacon. It is a job that, even though not necessary with a beacon, is certainly helped by it. Especially since we're not even insta-mining the stone. Oh, this is going to take so long. I just also don't want to go to a fortress. We kind of died to one earlier. Could I? Honestly, yeah, I'm gonna go to. Let's see if we can get lucky. Oh, chickens. So I know that there is a small buried fortress right over there. I know there's a very big fortress right there. Meaning, if we go this way, well, that's dangerous, especially in the basalt delta. And there we go. As you can see, I've already done my best to make it somewhat safe for me to be there. Right. Know that I had a spot. Let's count ourselves there. Very quickly. Grab a few rocks. Come on. Thank you. This is looting 3. So, although not smite, it should still do the trick. Was that another skeleton? Nope. Right, let's go. I'm not here for places. And so if I want them, I'll go to another fortress. There was... What's up there? Come on. Right. We should flatten this. Or is there another spawn over here? Or do they spawn naturally? I can't. That's easy. I just want to dig stone a little faster than usual. Why is that so hard? Oh, there is another spawn. Let's obviously just ignore that and go this way. I do think they spawn naturally. The blazes at least. But it is not helped by the fact that there are spawners. Another skeleton. Go over there. Right, come out. Where did you go? Oh. Don't know, don't care. Okay. Just kill you real quick. Then do you. And go down there. Onto you. Nothing. Netherrack. over there. Nothing. Nothing. Honestly, this is why I hate with the skull hunting without a farm. If I just bury myself in here for a second. Statistics, mobs, wither skull, percentage drop. There. Drop, mob loot. Looting 3. Right. It's 17 out of 200. I've not killed nearly enough, but still. Just doesn't feel very rewarding. Right. 2 skellies. Come on. See if we can aggro all of them. We at least have 2. We have 1. Yeah. Enough. Nothing in the corridors. Fine. What else do we have? No. Go. Thank you. get that they have to be like rare drops, otherwise the wither and therefore the beacon would be too easy to get. But still, it's absurd. Mainly because it wouldn't really matter that it was a rare drop. It's mainly that it's one, a rare drop, and you need three of them. You need two of them to contemplate all your life's decisions. Right? There's not for my taste. Eat. Yeah. Let's just unload over. There are a few up there. Need to set up like a safe space up there. Have anything? Oops, yep. There we go. Another one. Give me some head, please, and thank you. Why do they have to have bodyguards in the form of blaze? Not a single skull. However, nothing good to show for it either. So we just gonna go there, down there. Oh, we have one. We're not even risking it. Safe and sound. Oh shit. If I just plonk myself here, good. these. There we go. Bring out. We need these four over here. Oops. Alright. I need to skedaddle. At least over here. Go. There we go. Come on, I just want to be you. Right. I really need to flatten one of these fortresses at one point. Because this is obscene. Like, this is just ridiculous. Having to first off hunt for the for you. I think we'll stay here for like another minute or so. Just have to see if I can get something from any of these. Go. Skeletons. Right. Over here. On. Last one. I think we're gonna clear at least the easily accessible areas one last time, and then after that we're just gonna put a bounty on the heads. Is this the last one? We got one skull and a bit of coal and bones and stuff like that. But nothing too good. I mean, I guess it's fine for the amount of time that I was in the nether. However, I would have just preferred being able to insta-mine stone and then get on with my day. Because this is just... I'm a builder. I'm a redstoner. I'm not someone who enjoys PvP or PvE. Are we able to use this? Right, nothing. 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 Let's just clear this. Nothing and absolutely that was a little too close to my liking. No. This also direct. Right. I'll put a bounty on the rest of the heads. Because I don't want to deal with that. So, because we're heading back without the means for a beacon, that's annoying, but still, not really much we can do about it. Impatient, and so for that very reason alone, this is not good for me. And it would also make horrible content if you had to sit there and watch me basically silently kill hundreds, if not thousands of those bastards. So we got one skull, which I guess we will put over here. And if anyone asks, no, I will not be fighting it properly. I will be cheesing it. Again, I'm not in it for a fight, I'm in it for a tool. Let's roll this. Right, do I have any fences? I should have a few, maybe in my bit of that, bit of that. There we go. Oh, I can just. Oh. Here at the south. We're making it like this. so. And then just as a bit of added decoration. Like so. Let's just craft a bunch of signs. And a few more. Right. We're going to pay for the skulls. There we go. Community poster board. There we go. Let's go see if that's a scratch. Oh, that was scratch. Good. So there we go. Over here in the Viking village. There we go. Right. Let's go check on the roofless shop, which will have to be rebuilt. I am not keeping this. This was purely because I had to build something and I was tired. And so, I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, Scratch has a bit of a reputation on the server for dying a few times. I will say so do I. However, I'm not the worst one when it comes to perpetual dying. Right, so I might actually be able to take some out. Right, we have at least a few. I can't see up on the entity tracker how many are villages. Would have been nice though. Alright. Do we think it's a server crash Oh, this. I actually really like this flooring. I'm procrastinating because I don't want to dig. Right. Where do we need to go to? I mean, I know we need to get rid of all this dirt. I just don't want to do something I can't insta-mine. That's kind of my... It just kills me inside. I don't mind it when I have, like, iron tools. Then I can dig forever. Because that's at least renewable. However, diamond... When I have diamond tools, I need to be able to insta-dig. Or insta-mine. So yeah, it's maybe a little bit of a problem of mine not being able to play the game unless I basically get to playing creative. However, you know what? That is just how it is. So we can get rid of this. This was surely template. So that I could transfer the base dimensions into creative. Right. But I do know that I doubt I'm actually gonna sell a lot of gravel. Might be able to sell some as part of like a parting deal or something like that. However, mainly when a shop sells a lot of gravel, it's because of concrete. However, I don't think we have a lot of people who build with concrete, if I'm being honest. Right, so where did we need to dig to? Around. Oh, so the one strip I haven't touched was the border. Right, gorgeous. Right, so let's just put all this back. And then take that, then I know where to start from. I mean, I need to remove it anyway. However, I would rather do it under controlled circumstances than just pure excavating. But yeah, basically this whole mountain needs to go. Honestly, might as well just flatten this down whilst I'm at it. Might make for better end result. So, no, I was out getting food earlier. I, wa- I, wa- I didn't want to cook, so I decided to go out. And I ended up settling on getting some sushi. Now I've been to this place many, many times. And today, the day where I forgot to bring my headphones so I could sit and watch some YouTube while I ate, I got seated next to two families with very young children. We're talking very early childhood, late, like toddler, baby, you know, like 4 or 5 years old. That sort of age. And they were loud as shit. And now I don't blame any parties in this situation. It's just I was just trying to eat, and the parents, they were very obviously very tired. So there was me, uh, one family behind me, and then another like to my right, and again, very tired parents trying to explain to their children that no, you should not run up and down the restaurant whilst screaming. And then there was another family where they had actually just given up. Like the child was just walking between the chairs, leaning on random people, asking questions, all that sort of stuff. And I was just trying to enjoy my food. I actually ended up eating so fast that the waiter, when I was being checked out, uh, when my when I got my bill, asked uh, if there had been a problem. To which I obviously said no because it was out of the restaurant's control, at least for the most part. And so, but yeah, I ended up getting asked if I had a problem with the establishment because I was just trying to get out of an environment that was so loud. And so I got home and drank a monster and started playing Minecraft instead. The things I do. Yeah, it's actually not too bad. I could have just gotten it as either takeaway or the home. Not the worst. However, definitely not pleasant. Oh, let's go. Right, what should we do? Because we need to sort it out all the way up to about here. The single dirt block. But yeah, this is how much it's going to fit, and then it stretches down into the ground around here, which I have marked out, except for this little corner that's in the water. However, that it should be fine. Yeah, this is going to be towering, and I also need to do a little bit of terraforming once we get all this done, because I actually planned for this to sit flush with the ground, which is why there's nothing, why all of this is just floating. But yeah, it's supposed to sit at this level. So if I just come over here, you'll be able to see that I've planned for there to be blocked all along. So yeah, that's why it looks like it does. And all of this in here needs to be rid. How did your eyes? Like the right. So what else could we do? Also, how late is YouTube? On YouTube's end, I'm still in the nether. I haven't been there for about 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes or so. Wait, what? 2 seconds. Oh, I am apparently not in the nether. I might have hit a button or something. Anyway, I don't know what else to do right now. But yeah, it's I don't know. I don't want I don't want to mind this. Well, with it taking a million years. I also don't want to postpone it for so long that the trading hall is of no use to me. I think I have to find some sort of solution that allows for both, which I don't know how to do. We could start work on other projects because whilst I can't do the trading hall, I could still. No, we're gonna go with some other project, which actually no, we can't. What I was thinking about doing is going to a swamp that I actually have marked there. You can see that it's about 7,400 blocks away. Just to get some slime, because with slime I could build a bigger sugarcane farm. However, that is going to cause so much lag, especially when we're multiple people on the server. It's still gonna lag out the server regardless of if I'm the only one online or not. However, it gets severe. Um, but yeah, it's I honestly don't know. But this is the line, and we also just mark it up here by this one. This I can't remember if it was above or below, but this line all the way out to there. Right. And that's how you know the boundaries. Follow the very unnatural line just cutting through everything. Right, so how much gravel is there? Right, let's. I'll take a bit of lapis. Right, over here. We're taking and putting this away. Go, 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 go. Right. a normal sized chest. Well, at least close to. And almost turn. God, that's big. Holy shit. That is that is quite the project. Bacon. Also, I'm very glad with this little build we did yesterday. It is going to be dwarfed by the trading hall it's flying villages to. However, I still enjoy it. I'd have to change out the bricks for deep slate at some point. But like, I'll be completely honest. Materialist. Look at this. 2.5 shulker boxes of deep slate bricks. One, 1 1/5 of polished blackstone. About 20, 22.5 stacks of moss. A few shulker boxes of dark oak stuff. Like, that's an insane materials list. But yeah, it's maybe a little bit bigger than I thought it would be. Purely because when I build in creative, I take such a long step back that I sometimes forget that building it on a more realistic scale is sometimes also the goal. And so my projects just end up being these humongous uh, things that will end up taking several real life days, not just think up, but also produce. This one was actually surprisingly quick to draw up, mainly because of how much repetition there is. Had it been a more standalone build, it would have taken longer. This one had a very specific purpose to fulfill, house villagers, and then the rest just came from me wanting to have an above section and a below section. However, had it been a standalone build like a castle or temple or something like that, it would have taken me at least 2 days to complete. Purely because of how much more thought has to go into the different aspects of it. And that's just in creative. This is maybe going to take me the better part of a week to, to complete if I devote all my attention to it and to get a beacon within reasonable time. So I'm most definitely selling bird at the shop next, because I am getting ludicrous amounts of it. Also, I'm gonna need so much copper, it's insane. It is absolutely insane how much copper I'll need. The accent color in the build is oxidized copper, so not only will I need the copper itself, I'll also need the oxidized variant. Well, I'll need it to be oxidized. However, the good thing about using the fully oxidized version is I can just use normal copper and then put it in and then wait. Seems to get what I seems to get what I want in the end anyway, so might as well go with the upfront mismatch and then have it change into what I want it to be later on. Right, there's a little bit more gravel here. I'm just trying to get rid of as much non-pickaxe stuff as I can, because then all the pickaxe stuff can be taken when the baconator is here. Do I need another chest for dirt? I will. So right, I'll be completely honest. I actually don't know what to do, because on the one hand, had I been smart about this, today's stream would have been the design phase. However, I am not smart, and therefore, you guys get to enjoy me just flapping about as I, well, in part, procrastinate, and in other part, try to figure out if there's anything else I can work on. But no, there really isn't. I just have to get back in the nether and get some wither skulls at some point. And that is probably going to be tomorrow. So until then, I only have, well, I only need to annoy some people. That's why. There we go. These two. Wait, what? Like right there. Right there. Right there. The gate furthest towards your town hall or food hall. I came over here to give you chickens, and instead I ended up helping. What the fuck? I came over here to annoy people, and instead I ended up helping. Here we see the wild scratch in his natural habitat, standing atop an ancient Viking farmhouse, rather confused as to where the narrator went. Ooh, I actually really like that little. I was about to call it a chalice. That's about how tired I am today. Calling goblets of fire chalice. Ooh, Blackstone accents. Smart. Very smart. So I keep getting confused. I'm used to ghasts being nasty beings, and so when I hear one, I panic, and it's just this happy little fucker. Oh, yeah, probably isn't the smartest to. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It's probably not the smartest trying to fly around and be sneaky when I am literally live streaming my exact location. I'm Peter Pan. Come on, Wendy. Where did you go? Oh, oh, bugger. Did this ever end up working? I mean, it does produce. Let's see. What we would really need to do would be. Uh, 2 seconds. I can try something. That's. Good. Audio. Go. And then configure. So the green one was about. I need to move it over one more. It needs to be. Yep. And then in the center here. Right. So that's because your spawning range is. Huh. Apparently, this is the spawn area that the iron golems allow or search for. All of this down here is obviously unspawnable as it's on the ground. So where would they spawn? Let's see. They spawn. Spawning. The villager slipped in the last 20 minutes. The villager has not detected an iron golem in the last 30 seconds. An iron golem is detected when it's within 16 blocks of the villager. 16, 16, 16. And the villager scans golems every 10 seconds. The villager has not been near summoning. Last 13. There's enough valid. Yeah, what's a valid spawn point? Tile location is checked whether the block underneath has a solid top surface, which is not the same as solid blocking. The target has 2 blocks above, must not be a full block, nor be redstone powered, nor be rails, and the 2 blocks above must not be water. This means can spawn in. Oh, that's interesting. They can spawn in one wide spaces. Right, so I actually can't see where the issue would be because up here it's perfect. Around here it should be spawn proof. Wait. Right. Uh, uh, right. Right. I think I see the problem. However, I'm not sure I do. So grass and ferns and stuff like that don't disallow for spawning. Meaning on blocks like these, where it's only grass being the active spawn preventer, I do think that is where the issue lies. However, don't quote me on that. Um, I'm also I also don't think that flowers. Uh, yeah, flowers don't prevent spawning either. So here, where you have grass, flower. My main um uh piece of advice would actually be to use moss carpets all the way around, even though that will give it a less well natural look. You could also play with leaves because they are a non-solid block. Well, they're a transparent solid block. That's what I meant to say. Whereas grass and ferns and stuff don't have a hitbox and therefore don't prevent spawning. This is why I built mine so high up, because I don't want to deal with this. That wouldn't be my main advice. However, again, can't promise that it'll work. It's just that was that's what I think is causing the issue. Then again, I haven't really played a lot with it, so yeah, that's also very important. And hey, if it works, it works. If you find out exactly where the if you find out exactly where the golems spawn, like if you find out it's only on these blocks here, you'd be able to put a mob somewhere in this general vicinity that the golems would log onto, uh, and then have a secondary trap for them there. Because if you can then kill them off there, then well, it would take it out of the cap. Alternatively, if you can get them to wander more than 16 blocks away from the villager, 8 in either direction, then it that also takes it out of the cap. So when you, for example, have golems walking around over here, then it's not an issue because the villagers don't quote unquote know that it's there, and therefore it will still spawn new golems. So having a secondary kill mechanism, or just a way to lure them away or ensure that they get away, should uh, sh- at least should ensure the continued uh, workings of the farm. But again, I'm not a golem lawyer, so I don't know. Also, this is dying. However, golems like that. Just yeah, no. Like that. Right. Also, I'm gonna be taking my horse home because I left it here a few days ago and forgot to bring it home with me. Yeah, it's I can't remember why I took my horse. I just remember that I did, and then I left it here because I remembered I have wings. So, and also if you ever run out of iron, uh, just tell me. I know I have a shop for it, but hey, the shop is only for if you have the money. If you don't, then just come borrow from my farm. Think of it like one of those projects where it's pay what you can. Uh, like for indie games, just if you have money to support the artist, then or the programmer, then then support them. If you don't, then just fucking take it for free because I'm not gonna need that much iron. Plus, I'm gonna upgrade it soon enough anyway. Just need to get that fucking villager trading hall out of the way. Good. We're here. Oh yeah, that's fair. Also, if you can't be bothered to chop down insane amounts of wood, no, no, I didn't find slime. Sadly, I uh, I have a swamp bookmark. Uh, but I don't want to travel there because it causes so much lag. Um, but no, yeah, for like basic stuff like chests, I use bamboo and craft that into like the bamboo blocks and then the bamboo planks because it grows so insanely fast. The thing is, slime chunks are good. Don't get me wrong; they aren't bad. Um, However, there is a problem with them, and that is the fact that you have to dig down to Y40 for them to work. Um, at least as a slime farm. And that's the furthest up they'll spawn, and that's why 40. Whereas in a swamp they can spawn at any level, meaning that if you find a swamp and then build a double slime farm where you uh, take uh, a 2x2 slime chunk, you make a normal slime farm from about ground level down to Y40, and uh, and then from Y40 you make a slime chunk farm. Then that is typically the best option. And you actually you can also get a redstone from cleric villagers. That's how I get mine. Um, I think it's a few diamonds for a bit of redstone. I can't remember exactly how much. Let's see. Yeah, one one emerald for two redstone. So quite pricey, but with a simple crop farm, you should be able to get that from your farmers or librarians via the paper trade. Or you can take the Fletcher, the one that uses the this one, this block, uh, 32 sticks, and you'll get a diamond or an emerald. Sorry. So that's at least how I get my redstone. So where did I put that? That a bit more. There we go. Would you keep lagging behind? You have all that. So that's not fun. That's oh, that's smart. Honestly, I hadn't even thought about using shelves for that reason. So I know that they're a storage block, a very expensive, very inefficient storage block. However, I had never thought about using them as a storage block. I'm too ingrained in the fact that they're a building block rather than anything else. But using it to store like the wheat for the animals, genius. especially when it's already just part of the building itself. Yeah, but like the way I usually use them is I will have them above chests that are stacked 3 high, and then left to right is top to bottom. So the leftmost chest will be uh, what's in the topmost chest, and then the middle is the middle, and the right is the bottom. And so in that way, I can very easily label all my chests without having to put label on each and every chest. And so when it gets to a point where it's actually fulfilling its purpose of being storage, that's when it shocked me because they've been in the game for quite a while at this point. And yet I've never thought about using them for their intended purpose. But yeah, I think I'm gonna end the stream here because I need myself a smoke, and after that, I need myself some sleep. Because something tells me I have a long day with a lot of wither skeletons ahead of me tomorrow. Let's check the statistics. Mobs with the skeleton. Yeah. I've never been killed by a wither skeleton. Huh. That's odd. Oh, must have been a normal skeleton that got me there. Nope. Oh, it was the withering effect, and therefore it doesn't count. But that's fucked. But yeah, I guess it makes sense in the statistic. I need to find a way to. Oops. Chicken. I need to find an easy with the skeleton. Or with the skull farm design, and then after that, I need to see if I can make that a reality so that I don't have to spend ages running for running up with the skeletons. Because I don't want to do that. Girls just wanna have fun. Yeah, girls just wanna have fun. Right, I'm officially getting so tired to the point where I'm starting to sing very horribly so. And so I am going to log off for the day. Well, might not log off entirely, might go AFK at my iron farm for a bit. But then, I'm gonna log off for a bit. So,